In this episode of the Ear Scouts podcast, we are listing out our favorite things to eat when we are having a wild time at Animal Kingdom. We got a lot of delicious dishes to talk about, so let's get to it. Hi ho, everybody. This is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from our makeshift studio here in Celebration, Florida. Joining me here in Celebration, as always, is the other half of Ear Scouts, Eric. Hi ho, Eric.
Hi ho, everyone.
Eric is going to be keeping up with the live chat over on Patreon. If you'd like to join us as we record each and every episode live and get to take part in the Patreon exclusive after party, just head on over to patreon.com/earscouts. Also joining us back in her home state of Connecticut, the host of Jessica Scraps on YouTube, Jessica. Hi ho, Jessica.
Hi ho, everyone.
Is it good to be home?
It's good to be home. It's good to be home.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to see you in your familiar environs. Also coming to us from his familiar environs in Indiana is our resident Disney trivia guru, Quizmaster Craig. Hi ho, Craig.
Hi ho, everybody.
So we're all back together to talk about food at another park. So this is actually our second in a series that we've been doing. Our first episode was all of our favorite things to eat at Magic Kingdom. And now we're hopping over to the other kingdom at Walt Disney World, Animal Kingdom. And spoiler alert, this is actually my favorite park for food. I think I might be the only one. I think there's a lot of love for Epcot too, and I love eating at Epcot as well. But this is hands down. If I were going to go anywhere to get a meal at any of the parks, my pick is going to be Animal Kingdom, and we're going to share with you all of our favorites in this park, so you'll see why it is worth planning mealtime around Animal Kingdom. But before we talk about our favorite foods at my favorite park, we do have a quick programming update, and that is that we will be taking next week off for the 4th of July holiday. So we will be back with another episode the following week. But if you're looking for us in your podcast feed, you're like, hey, where's Ear Scouts? We're taking the week off to celebrate the semi-quincentennial. And with that said, let's jump back into the topic at hand, which is delicious dishes at Animal Kingdom. Why don't you start us off, Jessica? What is one of your favorite things to eat when you're at Animal Kingdom?
So I'm going to start with something that we don't actually eat as much, but we drink. And that is the Sangria Dole Whip float at Tamu Tamu. Now, there was one time when John and I did a 4-park crawl, and we had to eat Dole Whip at every single park. And that is when I found the Sangria Dole Whip float. So it is actually really good sangria, the sangria they serve in most of the restaurants, with Dole Whip in it. And it's exactly what you think it is. And it is wonderful. And I highly recommend it. Probably not start. They serve it starting at like 9 a.m. So if you do want to do like a drink around the parks and start early, you could. Probably don't do that, but
I mean,
it
it's
is
juice, right?
Sangria is just juice.
Yeah.
It's just juice. It's
appropriate.
A low ABV.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is one of my favorite ways to have Dole Whip. Actually, it doesn't have Pop Rocks, throwback to Magic Kingdom, but it does have sangria. So I did want to bring a Dole Whip float in because I did have one in Magic Kingdom. And spoiler alert for the other parks, I may really like Dole Whip floats. It may be something you hear about again and again. But that is my favorite, the Sangria Dole Whip float. It is really good. If you haven't had it, I would give it a try.
All right. Craig, why don't you share with us your first pick for what you should eat or drink when you're at Animal Kingdom?
Okay, well, I'm just going to continue with the juicy theme, and I'm going with the jungle juice, also known as pog juice, throughout the rest of the resort. You can get it at Tusker House, and also they have it at the Dawa Bar. If you're not familiar, it's a blend of passion fruit juice, orange juice, and guava juice, and it's delicious. Just the balance is just so perfect. It just takes you right to a tropical island. You can get it with rum, vodka, however you would like it. You can get it in the float. with some
I was
Dole
just
Whip.
going to say that.
Yep. And I know it's a lot of people's favorites, but just being able to get it at a quick bar or even with a nice breakfast at Tusker House.
So, Craig, you mentioned one of my favorite places at Animal Kingdom. So I'm going to jump right to that. And this is Tusker House. If you're not familiar with Tusker House, this is the character dining experience at Animal Kingdom. In my opinion, it is the best character dining you're going to find at any of the parks, both because you've got, your favorites. You got Mickey and you've got Goofy and Donald and Daisy. There's no Minnie, correct? It's Daisy. But they're all dressed up for a safari. It's a unique photo you can only get at Tusker House. They do wear similar outfits when you meet Mickey and Minnie for their photo op. But if you want Donald and Goofy and Daisy, it's the only place to get it. And the real reason, though, that it's the best is because the food is amazing. I know we're going to be talking a lot about Tusker House. I think we all have some favorite things about Tusker House, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it as a restaurant as a whole. Like, I think you should put it on your list of things to try. And I'm going to specifically call out if you're there for breakfast, and you're less of an adventurous eater, because they do have a lot of adventurous things on the menu. They have this cinnamon roll bread pudding. I think sometimes it's a banana cinnamon roll bread pudding. It was delicious. It's one of the best of those. You can get lots of bread puddings at the different buffet restaurants at Disney World. It's kind of a classic that they do really well. This one is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So be sure to give that a try. So, Eric, our friends on Patreon, we would like to ask them to share any of their favorites from Animal Kingdom. Or if you have any questions about dining Animal Kingdom, throw them in the chat. Do we have anything just yet?
Yes, we actually have plenty of them.
Oh,
But
wow.
right
Nice.
now, yes. But right now, the one that got my attention, it's merely a tip from Heather. She said, "My favorite Tusker House tip: get a reservation at 10:30, and you get breakfast and lunch."
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good one. I'm actually going to toss to Craig next because I think you did have the other half of Tusker House to talk about.
Yeah, I especially love the breakfast buffet, and specifically the African-inspired items that they have. Now, if you've ever been to Boma at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and had breakfast there, they have lots of experimental foods unless you are from Africa, of course. But Tusker House also has some great ones. They have a shakshuka, which is it's very similar to the eggs al forno. It's eggs baked in like grits and has like a tomato sauce on it. There's bobodi, which is a casserole with ground beef and it has like an egg custard on top. Yeah, so that's just a few of the things that they have that are quite special, I think, for breakfast.
Yeah, that's the main reason I love Tusker House, is because there's so many African inspired dishes on the menu. And I
Mhm.
think they call it African inspired probably because, like with a lot of the things you get at Disney World, it's probably not exactly what you would have if you were to be dining in Africa. But a lot of those flavors, a lot of those spices, it's probably been changed a little bit for American palates, but it's
Mhm.
delicious. I love
Yeah.
it. It's one of my favorites. Jessica, what is your next pick for food at Animal Kingdom?
Well, I'm going to head to another restaurant that can be controversial, I will say, but that is
Mm.
Yak and Yeti. So I know there are some people have differing experiences at Yak and Yeti, but for me personally, although I don't necessarily love the indoor seating of every menu item, the ahi tuna nachos that are on the shareables menu to me are the perfect midday snack. Most of the time we go and try to get one of there's 5 bar seats. If you kind of hang out, you can get them. John and I will share the nachos and just have that and a drink. It's a perfect midday snack. They're very fresh. They're very light. They're on the fried wonton and not on chips. So it's really nice. So although I know some people have hit and miss on Yak and Yeti, it is a third party
Mhm.
a vendor. But for me, the ahi tuna nachos there are really, really good and something that I try to get most of the trips that we go.
Yeah, my experience with Yak and Yeti, I would agree it's a little hit or miss, but I would say it's more hit than miss. I think we've usually had a good time there. It's Landry's is the
Right.
third party
Right.
that runs that one. So if you're familiar with Landry's or you're familiar with, they do Rainforest Cafe. I think they
hmm
do T-Rex over at Disney Springs. So
Yeah. Do they still have the like the discount card or
they
They
having
still
for a
do.
have a
birthday?
Yeah,
Landry's card,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can get reservations easier. If
Mhm.
you haven't made a reservation, you can get in the walk-up line faster if you're a Landry's member. So
Mhm.
if you really love one of those that Rob mentioned, it's worth it to go online and sign up for a Landry's card.
Yeah.
And it's a
And-
free thing. Just become a
Mhm.
Landry's member.
Actually, no, you pay
It's not.
for it.
Oh, you do?
But
You
the
pay
you
for it
do
now?
Yeah,
pay for
you
it,
do.
but the way that it works is you pay for it and then you get a voucher for your next meal that
Ah,
is
that makes sense.
essentially you essentially end up getting more as long as you go a second time, you end up getting more for your money than you paid the first
Ah,
time. But that's my understanding of how it works. And then, but the benefit of the program is you kind of earn, discounts,
points.
and
hmm
and you also the big thing for fans of Yak and Yeti, it can on really busy days, it can be very hard to get a table there. And if
hmm
you are a member, you basically go to the front of the line, or at least behind any other members that are there when you do a walk up, which is great. Craig, I think you also had a Yak and Yeti pick.
I do. And I'm one of those that isn't a huge fan of Yak and Yeti. Now, admittedly, when it comes to Asian food, I'm kind of a snob. And I think that's because we have no decent Asian restaurants in Northern Indiana near me. So I had to learn to cook myself. And I do consider myself a good cook. And it's gotten to the point where I'll have pad Thai in a really good Thai restaurant and go, mine's better. But I have at Yak and Yeti, and I do not make this, and it's their fried calamari appetizer. And it's a crispy, battered medley of calamari and vegetables with a kimchi dressing and bang bang sauce. If you're not familiar with kimchi, it's a fermented cabbage dish from Korea, and it's spicy, and you usually see it as like a little side dish for almost all of their meals. Um, but yeah, I love a good calamari, and this was excellent. And remember, the vegetables were fantastic too, the sauces. So I will give that 2 thumbs up for their calamari appetizer.
I'm not generally a fan of anything that swims. Not kind of, I just don't really do seafood or fish or anything. So I can't speak to the calamari. But Eric, I think you did have the calamari there once, didn't you?
Yeah, and it
Uh,
was okay.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I mean the time that I love the flavor, but the time that I got served it, like it was a little bit chewy, which
Yeah.
made me think that it was frozen.
Oh,
But again,
oh,
I have heard like two things, like when it's like absolutely delicious, and it tastes like super fresh. But that time we tried, it seems like it was
hmm
frozen.
Which kind of brings us
Mm,
back to
yeah,
hit or miss, little hit or
hit or
miss
miss. Yeah.
sometimes at
yeah,
Yak and Yeti.
But I
that's what
really
I
But
was
like the
thinking.
flavor.
well, I'm going to stay in Asia for my next pick. And this one is definitely a snack. This is one of those food stands that you find as you're walking through Asia. It's Mr. Kamal's. And Mr. Kamal's really just does two things typically. Sometimes they have a little special item, but usually it's either fries with really fun dipping sauces, or you can get pot stickers. And the pot stickers, they're good. They're pretty basic. There's not anything to write home about. The fries are really good quality fries. Even if you just wanted fries, you didn't care about the dipping sauce, these are good, solid fries. But then they come with really, there's like usually a curried ketchup is one of the options.
Mm.
And
hmm
then I can't remember what the other one.
It's like an aioli, I think.
Yeah, it's I do know that they have. I've been there when they've changed them up a little bit. It's been a little bit different. So, yeah, they always have the curry ketchup though. I feel like that one is like
hmm
always there, and it's just really delicious. It's one of those, if you're looking for a salty snack, something good and deep fried and bad for you to tide you over until your next meal. This is worth the calories. It's really, really good. All right, Eric, what else do we have that's worth the calories? Anything from our friends on Patreon?
This comes from Dennis, from Ray, and from Jasmine. The three of them are recommending things from the Flame Tree Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And for Danny, it's going to be the sampler. For Ray, it's going to be the barbecue pulled pork sandwich. And for Jasmine, is the plant-based burnt ends with fries.
Oh, interesting.
I've heard a lot of people say that about the plant-based at Flame Tree. It's something I should try because I've heard a lot of people give positive feedback on it. So I'm going to put that on my list.
Okay. So I will say I've got a Flame Tree item on my list. So I'm just gonna go out of turn here, and I'm gonna talk about my Flame Tree pick because I actually have a dual Flame Tree pick. And if you think about the fact that we just had people recommend all these other dishes, I'm about to recommend two more. Flame Tree in general can be a really good pick, especially if you like barbecue. So if you're feeling healthy, they have the Smokehouse chicken salad. And if you're feeling like being unhealthy, they have the baked macaroni and cheese with pulled pork, and it's got an onion ring, and it's got like a little drizzle of barbecue sauce on top. It is delicious. It is really, really good. The mac and cheese is among the better mac and cheeses you'll find at the parks. So it's not like box macaroni and cheese. It's really good mac and cheese. And I really love their barbecue. I think they do smoke it there on site. I believe you can certainly smells like they're smoking it there on site. And it's delicious. So as everyone on Patreon is apparently attesting, you kind of can't go wrong at Flame Tree. So put that on your list if you're looking for some smoked meat goodness. Jessica, what is your next Animal Kingdom pick?
So I have the other part of Yak and Yeti, which is the Yak and Yeti Local Cafe, which is the quick service that's attached to Yak and Yeti. Now, this has one thing that I think is not just good, but it's totally worth the price. And that is they have a snack side chicken fried rice. So they have two chicken fried rices. One's a meal entree, one's a snack. The snack is like super packed. It's a snack credit if you're on the dining plan, but it's like $6. It is enough chicken fried rice for a meal, and it's good quality. It's the same kind of quality chicken fried rice you would get inside of Yak and Yeti, which is another thing I order when I'm in Yak and Yeti, but it's outside. It comes in the cute little Chinese food container, and it's a super fun meal. It's a super fun meal to eat, there with a water. And I just find it to be, once again, not too heavy, but also a great meal. So for me, those are the two things at Yak and Yeti that I get a lot, which are the nachos inside or the fried rice outside. So
Yeah.
don't sleep on that local cafe because it does have some interesting kind of quick service versions of some of the food that's inside Yak and Yeti.
Yeah, for those who are not familiar with Animal Kingdom in the Asia area, Yak and Yeti is a true sit down restaurant. You wait and you're seated, and there's just servers and all that, and then they have a walk up kind of outdoor counter service restaurant that serves a completely different menu. But there are a few things that, like you're saying, the fried rice is maybe something that's kind of overlapping a little bit, but.
They also serve breakfast, and they have one of the few vegetarian breakfast sandwiches on property. They have an egg white and tomato on an English muffin. And I know I'm not necessarily plant-based, but I eat a lot of plant-based food because I can't eat sausage or bacon in the morning. And it's one of the best breakfast sandwiches that I've found. So if you're a vegetarian, I don't think it's vegan because I think it does have cheese, but it's a great option there. So don't sleep on the breakfast there either. It doesn't rise to it's still a vegetarian breakfast sandwich. I mean, come on. But it's not like the best food I've ever had. But
Yeah.
if you
Egg,
need
white,
to
and
eat
tomato.
egg and tomato, it's not bad. But it is a good sandwich if you're in a situation like I am, which is 90% of the breakfast food at Animal Kingdom I can't eat.
Well, spoiler alert for when we ever get around to doing the favorite foods at Hollywood Studios, but they actually have I've been told the Ronto wrap, the
My
breakfast
favorite
Ronto wrap
breakfast. Yep.
that is vegetarian. There's a vegetarian
Mhm.
version of it. Is one of the best breakfast
Spoiler
sandwiches on
alert,
property.
that will be on my list.
Craig, what is your next Animal Kingdom culinary selection?
Okay, well, we're going to probably Ear Scout's favorite place in Animal Kingdom because we talk about it an awful lot, and that's Nomad Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much. Specifically, we're going to talk about one of their appetizers that they have, and it's their charcuterie board. And it is one of the best I've had on property. The only one, the better one I had was at Dahlia Lounge, and I don't even think they have that in the same way that they used to have it. So, but yeah, it's always good. It's always changing, but it always has. It's not your salami and regular, cheddar or jack cheese cut up. So, it's a fantastic one. I know everyone else has something on that list that they want to talk about too, and I have some more as well. But anyone else want to chime in?
At Nomad, well, I'm going to chime in because if you're a fan of churros, especially for those Disneylanders out there who are so proud of the fact that their churros are so much better than Disney World churros, I will grant you they are better than almost every single Disney World churro. But the Nomad Lounge churros, these are the best churros you're going to find at any theme park, including Disneyland. They come straight from the fryer. They actually happen to be gluten free. I don't think that this recipe was conceived to be gluten free. It just happened to be gluten free, which is a great perk for those folks who are gluten free diners. But I can tell you, I've eaten a lot of churros in my day, and these are second only to the churros that I had in Mexico at a Michelin starred restaurant, Puyol. Puyol had better churros in Mexico City. But you know what? These are really stinking close. I mean, they're not quite as good as Puyol, but they're close. They tend to come with some fun dipping sauces that does rotate. They almost always will have kind of a salted caramel of some kind. Usually, there'll be usually some variation of a chocolate. There's oftentimes a vanilla option in there. There's sometimes a berry option in there, but they'll be kind of elevated. It won't just be basic. Like the strawberry, I think used to have like it was like a spicy strawberry dipping sauce, which is kind of unique. The vanilla, I remember, had something else going on. Like they always keep it interesting. So it'll be a little bit different every time you try it. But really, these churros are so good, you don't even need to dip them in anything. They just melt in your mouth. They're delicious. So I've said enough about the churros. Jessica, do you have a different item that we should talk about at Nomad Lounge?
I do have a different item at Nomad Lounge, and I will say this is kind of similar though to your churros in that it rotates. And they have a chicken wing on the menu all the time, and we've gone a lot, and we have not gotten the same one. I think more than twice. They changed the sauce up. We've had a peanut sauce, we've had a curry sauce, we've had a barbecue-ish sauce, we've had a Thai sauce. They change it up a lot, but every time the chicken wings are just cooked so well and the sauce is so flavorful. And it's one of those things that I love chicken wings. And I'm a basic, I love a basic buffalo wing too with a buffalo sauce. So, I mean, but these chicken wings are really, really good, and they're always so interesting. I know Mom and I got them when we were there the last time, and she even commented, "Oh, that's a very interesting sauce. It was really good." And they're always unique, like you were saying about the churro sauces. And the wings are great, and I just would recommend give them a chance, even if they sound a little bit like, "Oh, I don't know if I will like that." Give the chicken wings a chance because we've loved them every time we've gone.
Craig, I think you had one more pick from Nomad Lounge.
Yes, and this is more about the lounge part because they do have a full bar and they have some great cocktails. Actually, the whole list is great, and they're not pre-made like they are at Beacon Barrel or at Oga's Cantina. But my favorite is the Tempting Tigress, which is kind of their take on an old fashioned. And that's Russell's Reserve 10-year bourbon, an allspice dram liqueur, tamarind, and lime juice. So it has that little bit of tartness in it from the tamarind that cuts through the sweetness that you usually get in an old fashioned. And I think that's probably why that's my favorite at the Nomad Lounge. And I'll try something else, and then I always have to get a Tempting Tigress to back it up.
Yep.
I'm right there with you.
That's always been my go-to drink there as well. It's delicious. Really good. If you're a bourbon drinker, just stop. That's your drink at Nomad Lounge. Eric, do we have any more favorite food picks from our friends on Patreon?
Yeah, this list Rob is suggesting Pizzafari. He heard like it's the most delicious pizza he has ever tried.
Wow.
Okay. So Dizlist Rob is joining us in Patreon. If you haven't listened to the Dizlist podcast, you should check them out. They're really great. But I have to say that Pizzafari, not really great. Really.
I don't think I've ever stepped in there.
No worries.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, don't do it. No worries. It looks
I
pretty
know.
inside.
I
Pretty inside.
just don't think that I've stepped in Pizza Safari. I was trying to think about that. I just don't think I have.
We've gone there. So sometimes they'll have exclusive items like desserts for like different, like Earth Day. They might do a special like dessert item there. So I have eaten at Pizzafari multiple times. I only tried the pizza once. It was one and done. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was like I ate half of it and I was done. I was like, yeah, this is just not good.
This is something that maybe Craig and Rob might be interested about. I have never tried them, but Jessica Sinders said that the arepas at the Smiling Crocodile.
John really likes that, and he loves arepas.
I've never had those.
He really likes those. I am not as big of an arepa fan as he is. So he would second that. He says they're really good, and he'll get them often.
Well, my question is, do they make you feel better with just one arepa? Is that something that happens there?
I don't know. Is that?
That's an Encanto reference.
Yeah, it's an
Encanto reference.
Yes,
Got
yes.
it. Sorry.
So, all right. I might have to add that to my list of things I want to try though, because I love arepas.
should.
I did not know that those were there. All right, delightful. Well, I'm going to jump over to another restaurant that I think we all want to talk about. We're going to move to the Valley of Moara in the land of Pandora, and they have what is essentially the canteen where the humans who came to Pandora would go and eat. And it's meant to be a fusion of earth food and delicious things from Pandora. And so they're really unique menu offerings that are also super delicious, which is why I think we're all talking about Satuli. I'm going to start off with the bowls because those are my favorite things there. It's kind of like the bowls that you'll find at lots of fast casual restaurants these days, but way better. There's a variety of bases that you can choose from. I usually go either for the noodles or the rice and beans, or there's also like a sweet potato base. And then you can choose your protein to go on top. They have lots of different protein options that are all really good. You can see them actually preparing the meat. There's kind of like a window where you can see where they're doing. Is it like rotisserie style? I feel like some of it, or is it all grilled? I can't.
Well, I think it's all grilled, or maybe the beef is rotisserie first, but
yeah, but it's delicious. It's a really good quality meat. And then you get to pick your sauce that's going to go on top. And my favorite's the creamy herb, although they're all good, but I always come back to the creamy herb. It's kind of my go-to. If you can't decide which one to get, stick with that one. But then what makes it very Pandoran, the sauces I think are meant to be more, let's just say less traditional flavors than you would normally pair with the other things in the bowls. But the most unique thing they have these little boba balls. They're little boba
Mhm.
pearls that they put on the top of all of the bowls, and it just adds a little touch of sweetness that really contrasts nicely with what tends to be savory flavors underneath. I love the bowls. They're relatively healthy. You can make it very healthy if you want, or you can make it moderately healthy, or you could kind of, if you want, you could just do noodles and the beef and make it unhealthy, but it's really delicious.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I needed to add on to that. One of the things I love is that one of the bases you can get is lettuce, so you could really just make it a salad for those of us who try to cut carbs. Um, and they also have fried tofu. Now, the first time I went there, it was part of a backstage Animal Kingdom tour, and I think Satuli had just opened up like within the last year, but they basically had a like smorgasbord. Like they brought out bowls
Mm.
of the beef and you just basically built your own. So we really got to try everything at that one sitting. So yeah, everything I've ever had there was just fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'll third that is that everything that I've had there is fantastic. I think the experience there is probably one of my favorite quick service experiences that I've ever had. Um, I think that it is unique and well themed, and yet the food is good. Particularly for me, there's an ocean moon bowl, which is like a tuna bowl, and it's on noodles, but they're not just any noodles, they're blue noodles. You get blue noodles, and it's just something about, and then it's like this, the radishes and then rainbows, and it's just so much fun. And the plates look visually stunning and they taste good, and the tuna's fresh, and it's a really good experience. So I think all around, if I had to pick one quick service in all of the parks, this would probably be the quick service that I would point people to,
Yeah.
as not just the healthiest, but the most exciting kind of sit down, interesting experience. So
Hmm.
I really like it.
Yeah, good point about the dining room itself is beautiful. I mean, for a
Yeah.
quick service, I mean, it's just gorgeous. You can just walk in there if you're not hungry. I highly suggest checking out, and even the ordering station is very well themed. So
Yeah.
it's just a great
It's a lot
quick
of
service
fun. Yeah.
place.
All right. Well, I know I have one more. Jessica, you have one more. What about on Patreon? Do we have any more food recommendations before we move on to our final two?
Since we're talking about Satuli, this was brought by a Dennis. He's suggesting that the cheeseburger, the steam pots, that are
Mm.
pretty good. And for Jessica Sanders, she recommends the frittata and beef breakfast
Where is that? The
in
frittata and
Satuli.
beef. I've never had
Yeah.
breakfast at Satuli Canteen.
It's newer. I think the breakfast is newer, and I think they've added it because so many people rope drop Pandora or
Mm-hmm.
early enter
Mhm.
Yep.
Pandora,
Makes
so they've
sense.
added breakfast. I haven't been able to get back there to participate, but it looks really good if you can eat beef or pork.
Yeah. Yeah. I That's another thing that I'm so excited now. I'm definitely going to go try that breakfast for sure because I love Satuli, pretty much everything on the menu. So I'm excited to try the breakfast options. My final thing that I want to talk about is what I consider to be the best restaurant in any of the Disney World theme parks. It is my favorite. I know we're a little bit split on this because Craig has eaten there multiple times. Not Craig's favorite, but I can say for me, almost every time I've been there, the food has been phenomenal, and the experience of this place is just it is truly transporting. I mean, it is the theming inside is spectacular. There's really cool art on the walls that is representative of the adventure that the Imagineers took when they were conceiving of Animal Kingdom. So Joe Rohde and the Imagineers, when they were working on developing Animal Kingdom, they actually traveled to Africa and Asia, but not to just kind of the stereotypical places. They didn't just go to like, the pagodas of, Asia or the Forbidden City. They went into real, like where people live in Asia, like, and soaked up the culture and the actual life of people in Africa and Asia, and you're going to see pieces of those adventures on the walls. You're going to see beautiful artwork. But for me, the star is the food. I love the food at Tiffins, is the restaurant we're talking about. Tiffins is signature dining. So it is basically on par with the nicest restaurants at Walt Disney World. But what I love about Tiffins is I can get that signature dining experience, and it is a-okay to show up in shorts and an Animal Kingdom t-shirt and ears because you're in a theme park. You're allowed, even though it is kind of fine dining, you're invited to show up in your theme park attire. I love that about this place. So my favorite things on the menu, they have a really great bread service that includes some pau d'acacia. So it's all the food there is going to kind of be a tour of the world. It's not just Africa and Asia. They also include food from Central and South America, because from the very beginning, Joe Rohde always wanted Tropical Americas to be part of Animal Kingdom. And as we all know, that is coming. So the preview of what we're going to see coming to the park was already there at Tiffins, because they have some Central and South American flavors. In fact, my other favorite thing that's on the menu, there's the bread service, which you're going to find flavors that are kind of from all around the world. And then they have the Oaxacan pork duo. This is probably their signature entree at this point. The menu has changed up recently, but this continued from the old menu. It is grilled pork chop, and let me tell you, this is not a dry pork chop. Every time I've had it, it's been super juicy and delicious, perfectly seasoned. It's got a peanut salsa macha, sweet plantain chipotle sauce, a corn tamal on the side, and then it's got a smoked pork shoulder. So that's the duo. There's two kinds of pork there. That's got a salsa verde and a cabbage slaw. Love this dish. If you're a big fan of Mexican and Central American flavors, and you're a big fan of pork, this is going to be the dish for you. But no matter what you like, take a look at the menu. Make sure there's something there that's appealing to you, and it's probably going to be delicious. I love Tiffins, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I will say every time I've been there, the service has been beyond impeccable. I will say that. And I think as far as the food, I think it's just a personal thing. Off day, order the wrong thing. I will keep trying. I know it's so well recommended that I just got to find what I like. I did try when we went with Rob and Eric had the butter chicken. That was really good. I really enjoyed tasting that.
It's I will say, the very first time we went there, we had a similar experience to you, Craig, where it was just like, I mean, it was good, but we weren't like blown away by it. That was right after the pandemic. And since then, we've had delicious meals pretty much every time we've gone. But this is kind of one of those things that I think it's important to talk about this whenever you're talking about food at Disney World. Even at the very best places, well, I'll exclude Victoria and Albert's. Probably they're always amazing, but at most places at Disney World, consistency is sometimes an issue. I do think that, it's just the volume, the number of dining establishments that they're maintaining. Sometimes not everything is perfect, but Tiffins, I would say, is one of those that's more often perfect. You guys both love, for example, Hollywood Brown Derby at Hollywood Studios. We've had lots of kind of misses when we've been there, but like you said, Craig, I'm gonna keep trying, because I hear so many people love Hollywood Brown Derby. I'm sure it's just been there on the off days.
Yeah. It's funny you brought that up, because, of course, the Cobb salad is always on that menu. It's a very famous salad. Last time I was there, they changed the preparation, not the ingredients, just how they cut the lettuce, because they usually chopped it up really fine. And now it's more like shredded.
No.
And I was like, what is this different? What is wrong with this? I'm not enjoying it. And I asked the server, and he was like, yeah, they changed it, and no one seems to like it, and they're not listening to us yet, but hopefully they will go back to.
Okay,
but that's exactly what you were saying, Rob. Consistency, can change a lot.
Yeah. And that happens at a lot of restaurants at Disney World. Our favorite, Trattori al Forno, is both Craig and Eric, all of us love Trattori al Forno for breakfast. They had the best iced coffee on property. It was insanely delicious, and for no apparent reason, they just took it off the menu. And people were so irate about this coffee not being there because it's that good that you can still order it, and the servers still know how to make it, and they still prepare it for you. But yeah, it's sometimes Disney makes strange decisions that don't really make a lot of sense. Like, why would you remove a very popular item? But all right, Jessica, we have saved what I think is probably the most buzzworthy item at Animal Kingdom for last. Share with us, Jessica, what is this is like Instagram famous at this point. What is your next pick?
It is Instagram famous for a reason, and I think I was the first one of the team to go try it and put it on the Patreon news feed for y'all. But it is at Terra Treats and now at other locations. The cookie brownie ice cream sandwich. And it is everything that it says it is. It's cookie brownie ice cream sandwich. And it is, Craig should not have it. Probably not good for Craig.
No.
Probably not good for me, but I ate it anyway. It is so good. I don't even like ice cream sandwiches. I don't like, in general, like a lot of like ice cream sandwich kind of stuff. I'm not that person. But the brownie and the cookie dough, it's so good. Now, I couldn't eat a whole one. I think I split it with another person because it's so big, but it is so good. It's worth all of the buzz. It's worth them having lines that wrap around. It's worth them putting it in two places. So it is finally, for the first time in a long time, something that is Instagrammable, but also totally worth it. A lot of time there's Instagram food that you don't eat. This is Instagram food that you should eat. This is Instagram food that's great. So love it.
I think what makes it great actually is they just put a sprinkling of sea salt on the top. And that's what makes it, because you're right. Otherwise it would be too sweet, right? But that sweet and salty thing is it's delicious.
It's just perfect. It is perfect. So I've been thinking about it since I had it, and I'm ready to have another one. So, but that's the best for last.
I now want to go to Animal Kingdom and eat almost all of this food. But before we move on to things that Disney has taken away from us at Animal Kingdom that we want them to bring back, Eric, do we have any final selections from our friends on Patreon?
From Ray and Lauren, they are recommending the Navi size soft pretzel next door at Pongo Pongo. They said that it's a quality pretzel that comes with actually beer cheese. It is not the radioactive one.
Correct. If you get the Mickey pretzel, it comes with genetically engineered radioactive cheese. It's good in its own way, I guess, kind of, but the beer cheese is delicious. And I always just tell them you want double beer cheese. And usually they don't even charge you. They just give you an extra beer cheese. Sometimes they do charge for it though, but you want double. It's that good. Yeah.
And just the last one for me, like it's a hit or miss, but the breakfast sandwich that you can find in some places around Animal Kingdom in the morning, it's a hit or miss, but it can be very delicious.
Yeah. It's one of those that you got to get it when it's fresh. But it's like it's a stuffed pancake is what it is. It's a pancake, and then there's a layer of guava and a layer of sausage and a layer of there's some kind of a cheese, right? Is it or is there egg? I can't remember.
I think it's egg.
I think there's cheese. Is it egg?
I can't remember very well.
It's delicious. It's sweet. It's sweet and savory. It's really good. But the catch is they serve these things out of the like carts, and they make them all at a kitchen, and then they're basically in like a hot box until you order it. So if you can catch it when it's fresh from the kitchen, these things are insanely good. Unfortunately, if you catch them when it's been sitting in the hot box for a long time, they're not so great. And that, I think, is why they've not been reviewed very well. I've seen lots of people who give these like a big thumbs down, but I gotta say, when they are good, they are delicious.
Sorry, Jules just added something to the chat, and Jules mentioned that the Caravan Road shaved ice, and well, she has the for mango and coconut mix. It says that it's really good.
That's over there. That's over there by Everest, right?
I think
I've
so.
never tried
yes.
it. I've never tried it. We'll have to put it on the list. Well, before we move on to the question of the week, we also decided we were going to pick some things that we miss from Animal Kingdom and something that we really want to try that we haven't tried yet. So, Jessica, why don't you start us off? What are some things that you miss from Animal Kingdom, and what are the things that you've heard are really good that you haven't tried yet?
Well, so those of you that are OG listeners to the podcast, to the first few episodes, will know my original what I miss, and that is my buffalo chicken chips. They changed the buffalo chicken chips. They moved them and they changed them, and I'm still not over them. They were at Trilobites. It was the best thing about Dinoland. Not going to lie, it was the best thing about Dinoland. They took them away.
That's a strong statement, but continue.
They took them away, and they've changed them, and they're not the same. They're not. They're not even buffalo. They're not even hot sauce. They're just not the same. So I'm not over it. The second thing that I miss is the pistachio honey croissant. They replaced that at Tamu Tamu with a pistachio croissant that is now like got some weird frosting on it. It's not a pistachio honey croissant. I don't know what happened to it. I
Can't
missed
put
that
frosting
too.
on a croissant. That
I know.
doesn't work. No.
It's weird. If anybody's had it and you like it, great. But I miss that pistachio honey croissant. I would get that, and then I would go in the line for the safari, and I went to get it, and I looked at it. I said, "That's not my croissant." And the lady at the cast member was like, "I'm so sorry, honey." She's like, I know. I was like, "That's not what I ordered." She goes, "I'm so sorry, honey." I was like, "You can keep it. I'm good. Just give it to somebody else." And then the last one, for a little while, they had donut macarons for Zootopia, and that was just for the movie. But obviously, I liked those. And those are gone because the movie's not in the theaters anymore for Zootopia. And I didn't really like those necessarily. They weren't the best macaroon on property, but they were just so cute, you know? And then the one thing I want to try, we talked a little bit about churros tonight, is 8 Spoon Cafe now has family churros. They have a package of churros that comes with like 16 or something little churro pieces with multiple dipping sauces. I just think that if I had my kids there, the family there, that would be a really cool thing to have, because I think this might be controversial, eating a whole churro is hard for some people. It is. So having those little mini bites and the different dipping sauces, I think would be fun. So I'm hoping to try that family churro selection.
All right. Craig, what do you miss from Animal Kingdom, and what are you excited to try?
Okay, so the first thing I missed was actually replaced by one of Jessica's favorites, and that's at Nomad Lounge, and it's about the chicken wings. Now, years ago, they had something called Nam Pla chicken wings, and that later became Bangkok chicken wings, and it was very similar. But it's Nam Pla is Thai for fish sauce. So it had like a little fish sauce funk in there, sweet, sticky, had bird's eye chilies like all over it, chopped peanuts, so it was nice and spicy. Last time I had the Bangkok wings, they weren't putting the chilies on, but I was able to get some like I asked, and they were able to get some from the kitchen for me. And I even recreated the recipe at home, just faking it, and I think I did really well. But they don't have many more, and I'll try the other ones, but gosh, it makes me sad. That was just one of my favorite things. The other one is either samosas or hand pies from Drinkwalla. The samosa is like a pastry filled with savory potato and pea and lots of spices, not particularly hot spicy, but very, very robust in the flavors. But that's a place, and I think that's just a thing about Animal Kingdom. Items change all the time, especially at the little booths. So yeah, find it. You might find a new favorite, even if your old favorite's gone. You try something else, and hopefully you'll find something you like as well. The thing I want to try was actually mentioned earlier, and that's the cheeseburger pods from Satuli Cafe. And these are they're bao buns, and they are filled with ground beef, ketchup, mustard, pickle, and cheese. And it's served with a vegetable slaw and vegetable chips. So basically, it's from what I understand, I haven't even tried it, but the cheeseburger spring rolls that they have in Magic Kingdom in a bao bun. And the main reason I really haven't tried it is because that's a carb bomb, but I will try it someday just to try it.
To me, they're very different. I love both of them for completely different reasons. But yeah, you definitely, if you love one, you're probably gonna love the other. But they're totally different vibes. But I agree, they're really good. And I will say, you still want the creamy herb on the side to dip them in because it's really good with the creamy herb.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole family loves those, Craig. My whole family, everybody in my family that eats meat loves those. So I would give them a try if I were you.
Yeah. The only thing I'm not crazy about with the spring rolls is the greasiness of it. So maybe that will.
Yeah,
but
and these are way
aren't
less
greasy.
Yeah,
right. They're
way
stable,
less greasy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly it's actually an old recipe of Joe Rohde, and his family made these as for fun snacks, and so that became part of the menu at Animal Kingdom. So for me, there are two things that I really miss at Animal Kingdom, and one thing I'm excited to try. The first thing that I really miss, it's still there technically, but if you go to the Harambe Fruit Market, they have this corn on the cob. It's a grilled corn on the cob, and it's got these delicious kind of it's like an African spice blend, and it's got gobs of butter melted on it, and it's delicious. But it used to be 1,000 times more delicious because they used to grill it right there, and you would order it and you would watch them take yours right off of the grill, and they would put the butter on it and they would roll it in the seasonings. And now I heard it was something related to safety, which doesn't really make sense to me because I mean, they grill things all over all the different parks. You know, you go to one of the festivals in Epcot, half the booths have the exact same grill sitting outside and a cast member's operating them. So I'm not sure what the issue was, but they got rid of the grill and now they're just in a hot box. They're pre-grilled, they're wrapped in tinfoil, and they're still good, but they're not nearly as good as they were when they were prepared fresh. The other thing that I miss is at Tiffins. So they did recently redo the menu, and shockingly, they took off what used to be their signature item, and it was my favorite. It was a tamarind short rib dish. It was like a braised short rib in a tamarind sauce, and it was melt in your mouth delicious. I have no idea why they took this off the menu because it was, from what I talked to the server about, they're like, yeah, it's immensely popular. It was a shock to us that they took this off the menu, but they did. So I hope they bring that back. And the thing that I most want to try also at Tiffin's, you have to go for lunch for this. And unfortunately, it is the only item on the menu you have to order prefix, meaning it's going to come with waffle fries and a dessert and a non-alcoholic beverage of your choice. You can't just order this on its own, but it is the Tiffin's burger, and they grind the meat in-house. It's a mixture of beef and pork. Sorry, Jessica. And yeah, and you can get it standard, which comes with a demi-glace and an aged cheddar, and then it has like a Parker House roll, or you can get the upgrade, which is the black truffle experience, which includes shaved black truffles, a truffle aioli, and truffle aioli, and an herb and truffle Cordero cheese waffle fry side. So it's basically everything becomes truffly. and that costs $15 more. I'll probably skip the truffles. I just want to try that burger because it's supposed to be really, really good. And I haven't had it yet. So that is all the time we have to talk about delicious things to eat at Animal Kingdom. But take my word for it. If you're planning a trip to Animal Kingdom, make some time to eat some of this delicious food. You will not regret it. So, Craig, why don't you share with us our question of the week?
All right, this comes from Jen from Patreon, and she says, I'm hearing rumors that they are going to permanently start checking for hotel reservations when using Disney transportation from Disney Springs to the hotels. What do we think about this? And supposedly, they have actually announced that it is going to be a permanent change coming up July 4th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're just trying to keep people from who are day guests and not staying at resorts from parking at the Springs and then using the internal bus system to get out of paying for parking at the resort at the theme parks. And Disney needs their dollars, so they're going to squeeze it whenever they can.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can see the two sides of this. The one side, and Jessica, you mentioned this when we were talking about this earlier. The transportation is a resort perk, right? And so that is part of what you're paying for when you stay at a Disney resort. And if you are at Springs and you end up having to wait for a whole other bus to come, like you have to wait a whole bus cycle because there's a ton of people who aren't staying at the resort who just want to go and either take advantage of the proximity to the park they want to go to, right? So a lot of people will, as Craig said, not pay to park. They'll just park at Springs and then take the bus over to, say, the Contemporary, where they can have the walking path that takes them to Magic Kingdom. I get it. If I was staying at the Contemporary and I had to, wait for another bus because all these folks were doing this, that would be frustrating. Having said that, as an annual pass holder, those of us who are annual pass holders, we get free parking included at the parks. So I have used this mainly just if I want to go shopping at one of the resorts, or I wanted to eat at the quick service at one of the resorts, because you can only park at a Disney resort if you're either staying there or you have a table service dining reservation. But guess what? If you want to eat at the quick service at the value resorts, they don't have table service options, right? The only way you can experience or see those value resorts is by transferring either at Springs or at a park. But that's the thing. You can still do this, right? You can still get to all those resorts. You're just going to use a park instead of Springs. Jessica,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this?
I guess, my thoughts are twofold. The very first time it got mentioned, it was back in Easter when it happened, or somewhere other time when it happened, and
It was Easter, yeah.
And I was talking about it, I said, well, who is doing this? Because annual pass holders get free parking, so it's not annual pass holders. And if you're already on property, and I was just in my head, I was trying to figure out because as an annual pass holder, I would never go to Springs to go to a resort. I would go to the TTC or to Hollywood Studios and get there from there, because it's just easy. Even parking at Animal Kingdom and going to those buses is easier for us sometimes, just to drive in, park, and go, right? Disney Springs is way far away from all of those other things, because when we're staying off property as annual pass holders, we're usually right in the same bubble still. So I couldn't figure out who it was for. It was just this weird dichotomy to me that I couldn't figure out who it was for. But then I started thinking about it, and I understand that for some people, it's a good way to get there. But I just think it's as easy. And I get that it's a $35 parking fee, but it's as easy. TTC and Monorail, Hollywood Studios, and Skyliner. And, it's just as easy to do that. And I think getting all the same experiences, getting better Disney transportation than the buses to some places, I think. So to me, I get why Disney's doing it. I will say, one of the other things I said when we started talking about this is the Polynesian right now feels more crowded than Magic Kingdom a lot of times. Like there are so many people in the Polynesian just hanging out. I can see why Disney during crowded times wants to limit that to give the people that are staying there a better experience. Grand Floridian at Christmas time, it's insanity. I mean, it's almost not worth even if I stayed at the Grand Floridian, I would hate it. And we choose not to stay at those kinds of resorts because we don't like that. So I can see why Disney would do it, not just for the Disney's getting their dollars, but because it does give the resort guests a better experience to limit or make it a little bit harder for people to get into the resorts that aren't staying there. I do think it's not just a dollars and cents thing. It's also an experience thing because I have been to the resorts when they are overcrowded and it's not pleasant for the resort guests at all. So
Another thing that I heard, Jen, who asked this question, suggested that she thought might be part of the reasoning for this. If you limited the folks who could get on the buses to those who are staying at the resorts, you could theoretically then add direct bus transportation between the parks and Disney Springs. The reason they don't do it now is because they don't want people parking at Disney Springs and taking the transportation to the park. But if the transportation is limited to those who are staying at the resorts, so that's not a problem anymore, right? Then maybe part of this could be that it's going to allow them to open up. And that's been something that people have wanted for a very long time, is the ability, if you're at a park and you want to go have dinner at Disney Springs, it's such a pain to have to go, to a resort, to your hotel and then transfer when you just want to go to dinner, right? You just want to hop over there. So that I haven't heard anything about that's going to be part of the plan, but it would theoretically open that up. Yeah. Do you have something else you want to add on that, Craig?
Yeah, well, just a little history lesson, from Quizmaster Craig here. I remember when, and this was probably when they just had Epcot, it's probably before the studios opened, but we had to show our room keys and it had your dates on there, like the days that you were staying in a hotel. So you had to show that to the driver or whatever to get on the bus. And even before that, when they still had the ticket books with the A, B, C, D, and E tickets, there was also a ticket there that you had to use to get on the monorail or the ferry from the TTC. So you actually had to have a ticket to do it originally. So I'm not surprised. I actually kind of welcome it. I think the annual pass holders are going to complain enough that they will do something about that if they don't already have it planned. So yeah, I think it's a good thing overall.
But as Jessica said, if you're an annual pass holder, park at the Transportation Ticket Center, park at Hollywood Studios, park at Animal Kingdom, and you're going to have the same exact,
And I will say that's one of the big reasons John and I always drive to Disney Springs. Unless we just haven't rented a car, which is a weird one, we're always driving to Disney Springs and driving back to Disney Springs because the buses to Disney Springs are really slow.
Yeah.
They're slower. That feels like even than the Animal Kingdom bus to Animal Kingdom, which is the slowest bus.
Eric, what are we hearing over on Patreon? Anybody want to chime in on this change that looks like it's coming to transportation at Disney Springs?
Jessica P mentioned that as a hotel guest, I'm happy, but I don't get why it's good from Disney perspective, since it feels like it will decrease resort hopping.
Yeah. I mean, I think Disney is counting on the fact that people who want to resort hop are going to know that they can do it from the parks and pay to park at the park, so they get more revenue that way, is my guess.
And from Jen, I'm also hearing that they want to deter people from parking and going to the resorts and using the pools and other amenities, which I will believe most of the resorts are super easy to sneak into the pools, even with gates. But I mean, lately they have been, as far as I know, in some of the pools they are giving you the band, right?
So it's the resorts that are easily accessible by Disney Transportation, i.e., the Skyliner resorts. Like, for example, I know they're doing it at Caribbean Beach, where it's super easy to hop on the Skyliner, and Caribbean Beach is the hub. I know they're doing it there. They've always done it at Yacht and Beach because you can just walk right out of Epcot and you're there at Yacht and Beach. So I don't think they do it at every resort, but they do it at the
So,
resorts that are easy to access.
mhm.
Yeah.
And Jasmine says that I agree. For people spending a ton of money to stay at the resorts, it makes sense to ensure those guests are getting a good experience.
Well, that is all the time we have to talk about these potential changes that sounds like they probably are coming to Disney Springs, transportation wise. But right now, we've got to move on to something that's much more pleasant to talk about, and that is happy thoughts. Craig, what is your happy thought this week?
Okay, so my happy thought is rather simple, and that's that I have to get up tomorrow morning very early and reserve my lightning lanes because I'm only a week away from coming to Disney World. And that
Very
makes me very
exciting.
happy. Yep, it's the little things. So, yep, I guess by the time this airs, I'll be down there. So keep an eye out. Say hi if you see me.
Awesome. We can't wait to see you. What are you most hoping to book tomorrow morning?
Oh, well, I haven't done Big Thunder yet. I haven't done Rock
Oh,
and Roller
yeah.
Coaster with the Muppets. So there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that Eric hasn't done yet either. So
Very
we
exciting.
got a lot. We got a lot.
May the lightning lane odds be ever in your favor.
As
Um,
always.
Eric, what is your happy thought this week?
So a few days ago, when I was starting my day at work, um, they stopped me and they told me that someone wrote an applausogram for me. And that applausogram actually came from Diana. I just want to thank you, Diana, and all of you just for sending so much love to us. Um, I feel very grateful to be able to receive these like letters with your kind words. It means a lot to us, and trust me, like it definitely makes my day better. So thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, Diana is a member of our Patreon family. But Eric, tell people what is an applausogram and where do people send an applausogram?
Okay, an applausogram is going to be similar to a recognition, to a compliment. You will have to go to the guest experience team. Usually, well, in Magic Kingdom, it's going to be the one at the front in City Hall, and you just have to let them know that you want to personalize the recognition to the cast member, and that you would like to write down something for us, and it makes it like more special. Different areas have different ways to give it to you. Talking about where I made magic, it's when you receive the talk of the new things that are coming throughout your day. At the very end, they make it like something big of like, hey, like someone went out of their way. The guests went to City Hall and gave this recognition to this person. And then, like, everyone in the room just like claps for them and they read it like out loud, like in front of the room. And it's very special. So, yeah, thank you. Well, just go to the guest experience team at the front of the parks. And once again, if someone really, really, really goes out of their way, just do it. It's a big thing for the cast members.
Very nice. Jessica, what is your happy thought this week?
So I don't know if y'all know, but I have an office in New York City it is on 31st and 8th Street, which happens to be right across the street from Madison Square Gardens, which means I have a whole lot of people in my team at work that were very, very excited about the outcome of a little bitty basketball game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it,
Yeah.
but congratulations to the Knicks. Congratulations to New York City. I think it's been really, even if you're not a basketball fan, it's been fun to watch what's happening in New York and all of the kind of excitement and the parties and people coming together that maybe typically wouldn't come together, but they're all watching the games. In my personal office, we have people from all over the world that work in my office, and they were all cheering together for one team. So it was really cool to see. So congratulations to the Knicks, congratulations to New York City, and I'm glad that basketball could bring people together.
Very nice. Well, my happy thought is that I have been in the parks a lot since Memorial Day, and I have been shocked at how low the crowd levels have been thus far this year. And as a local who usually just kind of writes off the summer as it's gonna be crazy every time I go into the parks. I'm not gonna be able to, enjoy myself the way that maybe I can during more of the off season. It's been great. So if you're one of those people who's like, no way am I going to Disney World in the summer when all the kids are out of school, it's going to be a madhouse. Thus far this year, it hasn't been. It's been really nice, super short waits. I was at Magic Kingdom over the weekend. Tron Light Cycle Run had a 45-minute posted wait on the weekend in the summer. So I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but I hope it lasts a while for folks to be able to enjoy the parks with lower crowd levels. It really does change the experience dramatically. That's my happy thought this week. Is for right now, the parks are quite a pleasant place to be. So consider planning your next trip. And if you do make that next trip, we will look forward to seeing you at the parks and talking about what you should be doing on that adventure in future episodes. Until then, keep thinking lots of happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.